Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we are going to go through all of the cards, attributes, and players that you should look for at each position when building your team. I get a lot of questions of, which player should I choose between these guys or who should I look out for? I want to give everyone an overview of the cards and things, then attributes for specific positions that you should be looking for. Now, I have a video that I did very early on in NHL 22 that went through and explained exactly what every attribute does. And if you haven't watched that, go check it out. It is in the link down below, and that will explain to you and kind of give you a better insight as to what each thing actually does. But for this video, I'm going to show you the players and the player types that I look for, and I'm going to talk about your skill range and how that impacts the players you should choose. Guys, if you like the content, please subscribe to the channel, and if you want to check me out live, I go live every single day at 2 p.m. Eastern Time until the new content drops at 5, again on Twitch, twitch.tv/nosleeves12. Come hang out. All right, let's get into today's video. All right, so let's discuss what you should be looking for at each position and why. So we'll start first with wingers. Wingers is pretty simple. And again, this is going to pertain to anyone, that is in Division 3 and below, because above that, that's when things really start to change. The meta and how you play is going to change completely when you face off against opponents that are higher than Division 3. But for the most part, and for the majority of my audience, they're below that or in that Division 3 range. So I'm going to talk to you guys first, and then we'll go over the cards that the higher tier players should be looking for. So Connor McDavid, there is a reason why he is the best card in the game. He's also the best player in the world, but the reason why he is the best winger in the game is because of his speed. Now, we've talked about this a lot, and obviously this isn't new to anyone. Speed in NHL and in hockey is the most important attribute that you can have. If you are the fastest skater, you have a leg up on pretty much everyone because you can make up for a lot of deficiencies by just blowing by people. So why speed is so important in NHL 22 is because of that ability in transition or to beeline down the boards and beat defenders. In NHL 21, they introduced a nerf to defensemen when they turn around. So when someone skates backwards and goes and makes that turn, they receive a significant debuff in their skating. And if you're going at 96 speed with Connor McDavid, there is literally no stopping you unless they play it correctly. Okay, so speed is the #1 attribute that you're looking for. After that, guys, it is wrist shot accuracy and power. The reason why is because when you get that speed down the boards, what you're looking for, if you can't get a breakaway, is to cut into the middle for a short side wrister or a far side wrister, which in my opinion is more potent in NHL 22 than the short side. However, those are the ones that you want to look for. And again, those are the most easily obtainable and easily scored goals in NHL 22. So speed first, and then wrist shot power and accuracy. The one thing I want to touch on, guys, and this goes for all forwards, is offensive awareness. Now, offensive awareness, guys, you won't notice if you have great cards. So, anything above 85, you really won't notice it. However, if you have lower offensive awareness, like in the low 80s, or below that, that is where you're going to notice it a ton. If you've watched my Hot Wheels series, I'm playing with a full bronze team, and every single pass I make, they bobble it. So if you're noticing that a lot, check out your player's offensive awareness stat, and that might be why you're seeing that. The next attribute you want to look for, guys, is agility. Now, agility is going to determine how fast they can make those left and right cuts, or if you're, if you use those half spins holding down L2, that is how that is going to be determined. So agility is super important for wingers because, again, that's how you create your time and space when getting down the board. Now, the other thing when it comes to wingers as opposed to other positions is you don't necessarily need large players. So you could have smaller guys like Howie Morenz, Martin St. Louis, as long as they are fast with a good wrist shot. And the reason is because in the defensive zone, they're in charge of covering the points. And obviously, if you are attacking someone at the point, you really don't need to bump them off the puck. You can stick check them or intercept passes because they're not really going to hold the puck at the point very often. So it's just not as important. So you don't need to have these giant guys or huge body checking wingers. They're just less important. That is why some of the bigger, slower wingers aren't as popular in the game, like Mark Stone, for example, because they don't take advantage of what you need, and that's speed and agility. So that is what you're looking for in wingers. All right, on to centermen, and this is much different in my opinion. Centermen, size is going to be one of the most important. The reason why size is so important for centermen is because of where they play in the defensive zone as well as in the offensive zone. So if you have the puck down low with your centerman, you need bigger guys so that they don't get bumped off the puck. Same thing in the defensive zone in the reverse. You want to be able to make sure that you get in the way and clog the slot so that they don't get those cross-seam one-timers, okay? The other thing you want to look for, in my opinion, slap shots, because they are usually the ones in place, while they're rotating for the one-timer, as well as body checking, strength stats. Defensive awareness is very important because that determines how well you intercept passes, those kinds of stats. When it comes to centermen, they're the ones that need speed the least, in my opinion. You're not really breaking the puck out of the zone with a centerman, and if you are, it's usually like a point guard. Your wingers are already going up, and you're going left and right, so you don't really need to worry about having extremely fast centermen. Does it help? Obviously, but it's not something that you need to focus on because you're not beelining down the boards with your centerman more often than not. The other stat I like to look for is hand-eye, because in NHL 22, tips are so potent in this game. If you do give a one-timer from the point, and you have a good centerman in the slot that has a great hand-eye stat, you can tip the puck home pretty easily. All right, guys, on to defensemen and the things I look for when it comes to defensemen. First and foremost, there's really three things you want to look for. There's skating. That's most important, as the same thing with wingers. And the reason is they have to defend wingers more often than not. And again, in the lower divisions, most of the defense is coming from the rush. Players that don't hold on to the puck very well or don't have that vision in the offensive zone, really, they score off the rush. So what you want to do is have a fast defenseman so that they can keep up with those wingers. After that, it's size. Size on defense is imperative, and it's the reason why slower guys like Hedman or Hamilton, for example, are so effective. And the reason is the bigger they are, the longer their stick, the ability to defend the blue line is just much easier with a larger defenseman. As well, when they start cycling in the defensive zone, you can actually just bump them off the puck very easily. So size, body checking, defensive awareness, stick checking, those are obviously the most important for defensemen. I will say this, the big defensemen don't necessarily need a gigantically high body checking stat because their size dictates a little bit more than their body checking stat. Now, after that, if you've got size and skating down, then what you want to focus is on slapshot power, in my opinion. Slapshot power, obviously, is pretty self-explanatory, just your ability to get the puck to the net faster. And when it comes to defensemen, obviously, one-timers are potent in this game, so if you have a guy that has a great slapshot power, it just makes him that much better. That is the reason why I still think that Adam Foote is one of the best defensemen in the game, because he's got speed, size, and a great shot, and essentially the best superstar in zone abilities for defensemen. Now, when it comes to goaltenders, guys, size is still king. So the bigger the goaltender, the easier you're going to have at, stopping shots. It really doesn't matter. The thing that will dictate your goaltender and your save percentage and the lack of scoring from your opponent is how you play defense. Nothing will change there. However, there are slightly better attributes to look for when it comes to goaltenders. Size is one. After that is speed. But as you can see here with this Jacob Markstrom, my opinion, this team of the week, Jacob Markstrom, is one of the best that I've used in this game, and same with the community. And his speed stat's very low. If you don't have someone like Jacob Markstrom, some other players that are a little bit smaller, like 6'3", 6'4", that have a really high speed stat, are insanely effective. If you look at Spencer Knight's new card, that one comes to mind. If you take a look at Spencer Knight's card, his speed is 90. He's 6'3". Very, very effective. And then after that, aggression is very important. So aggression will dictate how far they come out of the net and challenge shooters. So you want to make sure that they stay back in their net, because if they have high aggression, they come out to the top of the crease, and cross-crease one-timers are just tap-ins, basically, at that point. So you want to make sure that they have aggression. The lower, the better. Speed is extremely important. It's the most important stat. Glove high as well, so they can stop those short side wristers. And then size as well, obviously. It's 6'3". That's why I think the Spencer Knight card currently is the best card in the game, especially when he gets up to tier 6. But I still think that goaltenders are the least important cards to focus on. And really, if you're hut rich and you built your team, then I would look for goaltenders. Now let's talk about the players that are, in Division 1 or very high. They, have a shot at GWC, or you get 15 wins in Hut Champs, for example. Bigger players are going to be more effective. In my opinion, Mario Lemieux is the best card in the game. 6'4". He's got great skating at 93 speed. His shot is phenomenal. And the reason why is because A, he's extremely fast, but B, he's 6'4", and he's very hard to get bumped off the puck. So when you cycle, when you're someone that's very good at holding onto the puck and looking for setting up those plays, you want someone that's very big. And that is because you can worry less about having to hold onto the puck, because when someone bumps you with, let's say, Quinn Hughes, Mario Lemieux is not going to lose the puck from them unless it's a perfectly timed poke. So you want to have bigger players. You can get away with having those slower speed guys. And in my opinion, I think that for pro-style players, size is more important than speed for wingers. You guys are going to go up against players that are very, very good defensively, and you're going to see those goals off the rush much less. You're not going to get those breakaways or players that pinch along the boards very often. You're going to see guys that trap back, and you're going to go left and right a lot more than you're going north and south, and having bigger players will impact that more. A perfect example, in my opinion, would be like having Matt Duchene. In my opinion, still one of the best cards and will be when he gets his 93 today. But in comparison, someone that's like a pro-style player, Andrei Svechnikov might be more effective because he's so big and he's got a great shot, and you can hold on to the puck a lot more with him. Matt Duchene does get bumped off pretty easily, but his speed more than makes up for it. So guys, I hope this helps you when constructing your team. Let me know if you have any questions down below and some things that you want me to touch on when it comes to team building. And obviously, you can just come into my Twitch chat, or if you reply on my Who Should You Choose videos, I can help you with your team builder questions. But guys, thank you again for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.